Good afternoon, dear friends. This is Dr. Gwen from the Dr. Gwen International Training and Empowerment Academy and host of the iTunes show, The Dr. Gwen Show. Today, we are actually continuing our discussion on living an empowered life. Now, the question that I have for you is, how are you viewing yourself today? How are you viewing your life? How are you viewing the contributions that you intend to make or are making in the world today? Just think about that for a minute. And think about whether you have a major mission, thank you for joining me, that you are achieving in life. Do you have a purpose that you have defined for yourself that you need to fulfill here on earth? Just really think about that. And if not, what I need you to do is to think very deeply, to reflect deeply on what do you feel like you can make a difference with in your world, in your community, in your space, wherever you are. Is there a contribution outside of your own personal needs that you can fulfill? I want to share something with you that I plan on doing. You probably have been with me. Thank you for the likes. I've got a little croak in my voice. But yeah, so you've been with me when I talked about a nonprofit organization that I have, the Golden Key Opportunity Incorporated. And that was established to work with single homeless moms. Now, I got a very bright idea, and what I will be doing is launching a coaching package for probably just one woman who has landed herself homeless. And this is something that I personally want to undertake, to coach this one woman, because it's a mom. Of course, it will be a mom, will be someone with more than likely school-age children, and it's my mission to coach this mom, to help this mom to restore her self-sufficiency, self-confidence, and to take her from point A, or to have her take herself. Because no coach has the ability to take anybody anywhere. People have to do that for themselves. So with the resources that I will provide, hopefully they will get from point A to point B. And it will be someone who has a strong desire for something more. So I'm really excited about that. And I will be compiling an application process that I'll be speaking with some of my local folks here in my community who run these centers to have us select this special person. So that's something I thought that came up. Now, you may not be doing something like that. You may just like to cook. You may like to create stuff that's really beautiful, that can enrich environments maybe. Whatever it is that you have to do, think about a contribution that you can really make doing something that you love that will impact your community. So today now, I want to talk with you about how do you continue your momentum. We talked about the vision and the mission yesterday, and today, what do you do when you've created your vision, you've created your mission, and you have stepped out, or you're considering stepping out, and you find that results are not the way you want them to be when you've stepped out, or you're just not moving forward? What do you do in that circumstance? So today I want to talk with you about how are you going to get the results that you want? How do you determine the momentum that you want to accomplish or achieve? And what are some questions that you need to reflect on what are some things that you need to be aware of as you are moving yourself along the continuum. So, first thing is, you have to really be clear about evaluating your circumstance. What is the result that you want? What is missing? And when I talk about what's missing, a lot of times people tend to go on their inside, and self-limiting beliefs come up, right? Because you might think that people would come up with some ideas like, I'm not good enough, or perhaps I'm not worthy, who do I think I am, I'm a failure. All of those things come up for some people. And when those things happen, these are what I call false beliefs and false ideas, because people have generated an idea of who they think they are based on past experiences that have happened to them. Now, is that what's happening to you that may be stalling you from moving forward with your plan, with your mission, with your vision? Is that what is stalling you? Well, I have some great news for you, because if that is what is stalling you, there are resources to help you to overcome that. Those are the self-limiting beliefs of your subconscious mind in play. And we did talk about subconscious mind on one of our previous chats. I will encourage you to go back and see if you find that video. What I'm going to do is to download all of those videos on my YouTube channel, so you can go and find it. You don't have to be looking through a whole host of posts here on Facebook to discover that. But what are you doing about those self-limiting beliefs? Are you confronting them? Are you really getting to the source of it, the source of the matter of why you are not progressing, so you can actually find the solution to it? Because if your source is, if you're thinking that this is you, it's you who's doing it, and it's because you're not good enough, then that's something that needs to be confronted. And you're going to have to use that PDC technique that I talked about. And also there is an anchoring exercise where your brain doesn't really know, your mind doesn't know reality from what's present, from what's past, from what's future, your subconscious mind. So what you can actually do is to use an activity that you have been completely successful with and trick the brain into associating those positive emotions and positive thoughts with this thing that fears that you're afraid of. Okay? Now, I do have a free online course that you can access that gives you information on that. If you would like access, send me the details and I will send you the link. As I said, and I'm promising I'm not putting a link on this purposely because I am not. Okay, so if you want that information, then you private message me and I will give you the link and you will have access to this. What you will discover is how powerful that subconscious mind is, and you'll also discover some strategies and steps that you can take to help disarm it. So if you are looking at yourself and you're making those beliefs, then the one thing I can say to you here, so as not to go into a 3-hour discussion of how to unwind this, is that you need to understand that those thoughts that you're thinking are false. They're really not true. You may think that they are, but they really are not. Fear is a false feeling. It's false. The feeling is real for you, right? But the whole idea of what causes you to be afraid, it's really false. How do I know that? Because most of the times, the things we're fearful of never really come to play. It never does. And the other thing is that you are more powerful than the fear itself. Why? Because when you step out and you do the things that you are afraid of, that fear diminishes. It gets less and less. And soon you are not afraid anymore of that thing. But there's another big challenge that you will become a little anxious about again, and then the process starts over. So that, my friends, is what fear is. And you are not a failure by virtue of being humanity, person, a being. You can't be a failure, because being a failure is something that did not happen. Either you took certain actions and you didn't get the results, or you failed to act. You didn't act. And if it's one of those two, then you can know what to do with it. If you acted and you didn't get the results, which is what we're talking about right now, then you simply need to analyze. And I'm going to give you some questions that you can ask yourself to really analyze to see what it is that's causing you not to get those results. And if you fail to act, then it's simple. Just act, right? So get out of your head and stop allowing those fears and those self-talk, self-limiting beliefs to stop you, my dear ladies. Because you are beautiful and you are powerful and you are amazing. And the sooner you come to recognize that, the better it's going to be for you. So now, if you have taken some actions and you haven't gotten the results that you want, what do? How do you begin to take a look at what may be missing? You're going to have to start collecting some data, right? If you have some things, maybe look in your life right now. It may not be your job. It may not be your business. It could be your relationship. It could be something else. What is it for you that you are expecting certain things to happen for, and you just have not gotten those results for? What is it? So what you need to do is figure out, how are you dealing with it? Are you going inside and beating yourself down, causing those self-limiting beliefs to say, oh, I told myself that I wasn't going to be able to do this, and now here it is? Is that the talk that you're having? Or are you objectively looking at the circumstance and coming up with a solution? Are you arriving at a solution for yourself? So you're going to have to gather some data. How do you gather the data? Well, the first thing is you're going to have to start asking yourself some questions. Look for the facts. Look for the things, the actions that you have actually taken, and the results that you wanted. You have to be clear on the results that you want. And then analyze, why do you feel that you didn't get there? Is it a lack of resource that you need to get you there? Is it your own self-limitations? And I'm going to put that self-limitation aside and just really focus on the lack of resources and what you actually need to get there. What do you need to get there? So, if you're in action, you're going to have to figure out the missing. Once you have looked at the situation and you've made a list of the things that you feel are needed, if there are resources, it's time for you to reach out. Probably start making some requests of people in your community, people in your family, people in your life. But you're going to have to start making some requests in order to do that. So you gather the facts, and then you break down your challenges. What are the challenges that you're having? What isn't working? What do you need to cause it to work? What do you need to change get you the results that you want to get. You must be clear, and you have to be clear on especially the result that you want, because then you're going to be spinning your wheels and you'll never get there. You will never get there. So let's imagine now that you have figured out what the problem is. You have done your little analysis and you figured out what is missing, what you feel is missing. Sometimes what you think it is not what it is. How are you going to get there? How are you going to get from where you are right now to the end results of where you want to be? That may involve a community and you making some requests. And we talked about the SMART goals a little bit before. And what we said the SMART was S meaning specific, M meaning measurable, A meaning action-oriented, R relevant, and T time-bound. When you're making your requests of people, it must be clear. If you're going to get the results that you want, I would say use your SMART goals. Make it specific. Don't ramble around. Say exactly what you need. Make your requests often. This is something that a lot of us are fearful of. We don't go out and make requests because we feel like we're begging. That's not the way it works. It takes a village to raise a business. Believe me, you alone cannot achieve a massive breakthrough in your business or in your life. You're going to need a network to do that. So change your perspective and your paradigm on how you are looking at that situation. You're not begging anything. You're making a request. And that request is going to move you from point A to point B. When you make that request, put a promise in there for the other person. Know what this other person also wants and make it a win-win. If it is an employee in your business, then understanding what results you want and what benefit it can be to your employee is great. If it's a spouse or if it's a child, make it something that will also be beneficial for that individual. So once you have all of those pieces in place, go ahead and boldly make the request. And to continue, staying in continuum will require that you actually take note of every step that you are making and all the results that you're getting from those steps. You have to remain objective. You can't stay in your mind telling yourself these subjective things. Action 1, what results did you get? Action 2, what results did you get? Stay out of your mind and leave those self-limiting thoughts behind. So if you're going to be in continuum and in momentum with that mission and that vision, just to restate what I've said, it's going to be necessary for you to figure out where you want to go. What is that end result that you want? Once you figure that and you started taking action and you find results are amiss, you're not getting those results, then you've got to backtrack and gather some facts, some data. Figure out what is missing. What do you need to get to where you need to get to? Once you have figured out what is missing, then you need to start looking outside of yourself for some resources, for people of whom you can make requests. That's going to help to move you along in your business. Then once you've done that, make the request. There's actually a video that I have given that gave you some parts of a conversation of making that request. So you look back and find that video and then watch it. I don't want this live chat to be too much longer. So for those of you popped in and out, thank you so much for joining me. For those of you who will watch this later, thank you once again. Leave your comments, leave your likes, leave your love. I appreciate you more than words could ever know. And We shall chat again tomorrow at 3 p.m. Talk to you then. Love you.